Hello students, today we are going to discuss about nitrogen cycle. Okay, all of us we know that our atmosphere has 78% nitrogen gas, and nitrogen is one of the most essential component of all living being, that is a plant and animal also. It is in a living organism, it is found in chlorophyll, then nucleic acid, then vitamins, then proteins. Okay. So the most important part is the atmospheric nitrogen cannot be taken directly by the plants and animals. Why plant and animals cannot be taken by directly? Because in our atmosphere, suppose this is the atmospheric nitrogen. In atmosphere, the nitrogen is strongly bounded with a triple bond, and when the triple bond is broken, then we can directly use by the certain bacteria. Okay, certain bacteria like your rhizobium bacteria and cyanobacteria. The cyanobacteria is otherwise known as your blue green algae. Okay, actually these bacteria fixes the nitrogen, the atmospheric nitrogen, so that the atmospheric nitrogen is a usable product. Okay, so what are the steps are present in nitrogen cycle? There are many steps like your nitrification, nitrogen fixation, assimilation, ammonification and denitrification. So one by one we will read. Okay, so next step is your nitrogen cycle. First one is your nitrogen fixation. Second one is your nitrification. Third one is your assimilation. Fourth one is your ammonification. And last one is your denitrification. Okay, so let's start. What is nitrogen fixation? Okay, suppose this is our atmosphere and this is the layer of soil, and this is your plant, and suppose this is your animal like rabbit, and this is your atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, when suppose that nitrogen is bounded with triple bond, when lightning occurs, the triple bond breaks down and the nitrogen divided into single nitrogen, and it drops down to the soil. Okay, drops down to the soil. So what is nitrogen fixation? Actually atmospheric nitrogen, what is nitrogen fixation? When atmospheric nitrogen is converted into by the process of lightning, lightning or certain bacteria like rhizobium or blue green algae, okay, into its compound means that is your nitrate or nitrite or ammonia, etc., usable by the plants, that is known as your nitrogen fixation. Simple nitrogen fixation is a process that is atmospheric nitrogen is converted into by the process of lightning or certain bacteria like your rhizobium or blue green algae by its usable compounds, that is known as your nitrogen fixation. Okay students, so when nitrogen breaks down, it drops down to the soil, and that nitrogen reacts with hydrogen and oxygen converted into ammonia, that is your ammonia. Okay, that is your ammonia. When the ammonia will be produced by the process of lightning or by the process of by the bacteria like rhizobium or blue green algae. Okay, when the ammonia converted into nitrite, that is your nitrite, NO2, that is your nitrite. When ammonia is converted into nitrite by the bacteria known as your nitrosomonas, the bacteria is responsible for conversion of ammonia to nitrite. Again, nitrite converted into nitrate. When nitrite is converted into nitrate by the bacteria like your nitrobacter, and these are the products of nitrogen. Okay, what is yes, there is another name when ammonia is converted into nitrate. This process is known as your nitrification. Understood? When ammonia is converted into nitrate, that process is known as your nitrification. Okay, and these compounds are absorbed by the roots of the plants, that is your plant. And again, when the herbivore animal eats of the plants, then the nitrogen is indirectly transferred to the animal. Okay students, and when these animals die or got buried under the soil, they are converted into nitrate, and some compounds like phosphorus, sulfur, iron also form, and this process is responsible for a bacteria like your bacillus, then rhizomus, okay, and that process is known as ammonification. What process? When nitrogen again converted into ammonia. When nitrate is again converted into ammonia, that process is known as your ammonification. What is assimilation? When the nitrogen compounds get absorbed by the plants and animals, that process is known as your assimilation. Okay, nitrification assimilation completed, ammonification completed. Then what is denitrification? Actually, denitrification is a process when nitrogen can be converted into, when the nitrogen can be converted into nitrogen gas, which is released back in the atmosphere by certain bacteria. That bacteria is known as your Pseudomonas. That bacteria is known as your Pseudomonas. That is known as your denitrification. Okay, when nitrogen is circulated through to the soil and again to the atmosphere, that is known as your nitrogen cycle. I hope this is clear to you what is nitrogen cycle and nitrogen fixation. Thank you.